It is a breaking news day here on Daily Dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Oh my God, I have been pinned to my TV screen today. I am officially a lawyer. Like, forget it. I have passed the bar. I was working out this morning with all eyes on trial. I've officially entered trial zone. Welcome to Daily Dose of Trials. Today we will be talking all things trials. Karen Reed opening statements in Massachusetts. I had to hear Judge Bev do her the breaths. We had to see the fan. And most importantly, we had to hear from the phenomenal Alan Jackson and the opening statements. We will touch on that. But more importantly, at the beginning, we are going to talk about breaking news. Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman are set to be subpoenaed today. Yes, the famous word subpoena. Drink every time you hear subpoena. I love that word this week. Subpoena, subpoena, subpoena. That is the word of the week here on Daily Dose of Donna. And this time we do know where the subpoenas are going to come from. We're going to talk all about that. And another favorite attorney of ours, Bryan Freedman, he is pissed. He is pissed. And so are we. We are mad. We don't like shady McShadersons like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. We are mad at people that don't like to do things in an ethical manner. We don't like people that like to skirt the legal system. Skirt, skirt. In addition, we have some Bravo news and some fun little reality updates. Plus, is Justin Bieber in a cult? What is going on? All that and more. Everyone, start doing the sprinkler as Zach Peter does. It is your daily dose of Donna. Thank you so much for being here on this gorgeous Tuesday, April 22nd. We are officially inching towards the end of April. You know, I was recording a video last night talking about this Bryan Freedman statement to Deadline. And in the article, it says it's been 5 months since this legal battle started between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And I was like, 5 months? What? It's crazy how fast and how slow. And it's like, it feels like we just started talking about it, but also it feels like we've been talking about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni since the beginning of time, like since Adam and Eve. I think Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively were the first two humans on Earth. But I shouldn't say that because 100% if Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively were Adam and Eve, you know she would go after him for not having an intimacy coordinator when it was just the two of them in the apple, right? Like 100%. She'd be like, really, Adam? Really? You're looking at me while it's just me and the leaf covering my bosoms? How dare you, Adam? How dare you? She would go after him for being a little bit too peeking around the bushes. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Come on. Let's get into some of the big stories. Before we do, I have to shout out one of my favorite brands that sponsors Daily Dose of Donna. I am such a fan of this brand, and that is because I am such a fan of my doggies. My doggies are my faves, although don't tell my guinea pigs. You know I have guinea pigs that just joined the building. LeBron and Georgia bowling. But I love my dogs. And I have the best dog food that we serve our dogs, and that is Ollie. And the reason I really love Ollie, not because I also really love the dog food, but because my son's name is Oliver. So I kind of feel like it's like a shortening for Ollie. If your dog could talk, they would beg for Ollie. The full body tail wag, the excited little hops, the big goofy grin. That's the Ollie effect. Ollie delivers clean, fresh nutrition in 5 drool-worthy flavors, even for the pickiest eaters. Made in U.S. kitchens with highest quality, human-grade ingredients, Ollie's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. And here's the thing. Healthier food means a happier pup, more energy, shinier coats, better poops. I love saying it. And more excitement at mealtime. So all you have to do is fill out Ollie's 30-second quiz. I just did it again yesterday because I wanted to re-sign up with a different account. And I wanted to kind of like restart it over just to remind you guys how easy it is to do. It just says, do you have a male or female pup? Yes, you have to gender your dog. Sorry. Okay. Do you have I guess they probably have a section that says prefer not to answer, but I just called it like Murphy's a boy. Okay. It says what the weight is. And then you kind of do have to like maybe fat shame your dog because you're like, is that an ideal weight? Or do you want to make them a little skinny? Whatever. Are they sedentary or do they walk a lot? Do they run and play? Do they like chicken, beef, lamb? Whatever. So then you do this little quiz, and then they send out the pup's first box with 2 weeks worth of meals, a free storage container with mess-free serving, and a guide of how to gradually switch them over. It offers 3 meal plans to choose from, so you can choose between a full fresh plan, fresh topper plan, or a mixed plan with freshly baked recipes for your special fur baby. It's great. So dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/dailydose. That's OLLIE.com/dailydose. Tell them all about your dog and use code DAILYDOSE to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you're going to get your money back. That's a big deal, by the way. That's OLLIE.com/dailydose and enter code DAILYDOSE to get 60% off your first box. Thanks, Ollie. Super poops. Okay, let's go on and talk about this breaking news article that Daily Mail, our favorite, just posted just in the last hour. And this is about Taylor Swift. And they're really talking about, you guys. They're bringing in the big ones, okay? Breaking news, Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman are set to be subpoenaed this week. This week, as Blake Lively's toxic legal spat with Justin Baldoni takes a new turn. Ooh, 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 ooh. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bring it on. Subpoena them all. Subpoena them. Subpoena Liz Plank. Subpoena Colleen Hoover. Subpoena, who else do we want to subpoena? Who in that camp do we want to subpoena? I'm trying to think what names. Gigi Hadid. I'm trying to think what other people that we want. I want to subpoena like the director of Deadpool and Wolverine, Bradley Cooper. You know what? Just throw in Travis Kelce there too. Why not? Just get him in there. Okay, this article says that Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman look set to be subpoenaed this week in the latest awkward turn of events in the ongoing legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The A-listers were dragged into the increasingly toxic melee earlier this year after Lively filed a lawsuit against her and It Ends With Us co-star in December, accusing of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. We obviously know all of this. The rancorous, that's a word, back and forth is scheduled for a trial, I can't believe it, March 29th, 2026. All parties have denied all allegations. But a source has told Daily Mail that Jackman and Swift, who have not been seen, she has not been seen with Blake Lively since she was hauled into this mess, will most definitely be served this week. Ooh, 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 ooh. It could happen at any time. Where are they right now? Like, I want to see this. I want cameras. I need Andy and a camera. Where's the Bravo show on this? I mean, if they really want views, this is where the cameras need to be. It's the latest development after DailyMail.com revealed Lively had quietly filed a lawsuit in September, months before her legal war with Baldoni, in an apparent effort to get access to damning text messages from his publicist. Look at this picture. I can't get over this picture. Now that we know, by the way, the toxicity that happened the day of this premiere. Now that you see this picture, what does this give you? Like, what kind of vibes, what kind of feelings does this give you? It makes me sick. Oh, I love all the new names that you guys are saying. Paul and Lori Feig. I have a story about Paul Feig coming up in just a minute. Ari Emanuel. That's interesting. Yes. Who else? Isabella Ferrer, Brandon Sklenar, of course. Jenny Slate. This picture makes me sick. Bradley Cooper. What's his name? oh my God, Ryan Reynolds' face is just so controlling and freaky in this picture. She's like, everything's perfect in my Britney Spears dress. And Hugh Jackman's like, what am I doing here? I have nothing to do with this movie. What am I doing here? I just love Ryan Reynolds. So weird. Like, what are they doing there? It's wild. The filing allowed her attorneys to issue the subpoena for the embarrassing text. Swift has been waiting for a subpoena. The singer alongside Reynolds were referred to as Lively's dragons in screenshots of alleged text messages from the actress. And the actor accused Lively of enlisting Taylor Swift to pressure him into letting her rewrite the script for It Ends With Us. One of those messages reads, remember, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you. You guys, reading this feels like fake. It feels fake. It doesn't feel real. It's so wild. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. This is Sean Levy. This is the director of the Marvel movies. He's the one that just recently announced a new slate of Marvel movies, but he's doing the new movies with Ryan Gosling. He's like, yeah, we're out with Ryan Reynolds. He's too problematic right now. Let's just like push in another Ryan. Sean Levy also, and I'm not one to judge appearances, but he looks like he really needs to lay off some plastic surgery. Is that not a little weird? Like, it feels a little like there's a lot of plastic surgery happening in that picture right there. According to the lawsuit, Lively threatened to withhold approval of the film trailer. Yes, we know all of this. He claimed Lively threatened to change her mind about reaching out to Taylor Swift to secure the use of her hit 2020 track, My Tears Ricochet. I wonder if she even was aware of that, by the way, now that I think back. Do you think she was just threatening? You know how sometimes as a parent, I'm not calling out any names, not like I would ever do this. Of course not. I'm so much of a better parent than that. But sometimes as a parent, you tell your kids, like, if you don't clean your room, I will not let you play video games this weekend. And it's like false threats. I wonder if Blake Lively was just like false threatening. If you don't let me do this, I will pull My Tears Ricochet. But Taylor had nothing to do with it. I really wonder. So obviously, it was eventually used in the trailer. It was a beautiful trailer, I have to admit. There's Justin in a picture. Then it goes back into the text exchange with the Sony executive where Blake is calling Taylor to approve the song. Taylor Swift is a very big part of this, much more than Hugh Jackman. I think the only reason Jackman is involved in this is because of Ryan Reynolds. It says, although not named in the lawsuits, Jackman is believed to have key insight into best friend Reynolds' involvement in the case. The duo starred together in the Marvel smash hit Deadpool and Wolverine, which Reynolds also co-wrote. Filming kicked off May 2023, around the same time that It Ends With Us was in production. The film features Nice Pool, a character who many have taken to be a joke. Many have taken. I mean, you would be insane to not have taken it to be a joke. Like, it is a joke. I think even Stevie Wonder, when he watches Deadpool, knows it's a joke. I mean, Ryan Reynolds all but admitted that Nice Pool is based on the movie. But based on Justin Baldoni, correct? I think so. So it says that they co-starred in Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a joke at Baldoni's expense because he sported a man bun. And he also made comments about Lively's Ladypool character and her pregnancy. We all know this. It says it's unlikely Hugh wasn't aware of this. 100% he was aware of this. We know based on prior interviews that Ryan Reynolds has done and Hugh Jackman has done that the two of them, and I don't mean to stereotype boys and girls, but this is the truth about things that they have said in the past. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have a very close relationship. They very much are, they talk about their feelings. They talk about their emotions. We know that when Hugh Jackman broke up with his ex-wife and started dating Sutton Foster, he was photographed a lot with Ryan Reynolds on the street, and the paparazzi would catch them together. I am sure that they are compadres, if not more. And they would really connect and talk a lot about their relationships and probably heartbreak and ups and downs, et cetera, et cetera. So in my gut, I believe that Ryan Reynolds probably unloaded all of his innermost feelings and anger and insecurities and all his thoughts about Justin Baldoni, which is what a lot of this, I believe, is based on, and probably said, I'm going to get him and we're going to do it this way. And ha 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 ha, which is why I think Sean Levy, the director, needs to be deposed or at least subpoenaed. And I believe a lot of inner executives that had to get approval on the script and had to get approval on the production value and wardrobe and all of the people that had to get approval on, hey, let's make fun of this guy, Justin Baldoni, in this big, huge movie. So yes, I absolutely think that they all know about it. I don't know if Taylor Swift knows about the nice pool. I think Taylor Swift knows about the Blake Lively side, but definitely I think that Hugh Jackman knows about the nice pool side. Bring all out. Like turn on the lights, let them all come to the top. Like they say, like let the dirt rise or whatever. I know it says cream rise, but this doesn't feel creamy. This feels like the dirt. You know what I mean? Joanna says, don't forget that when Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds went to Taylor Swift's house in Rhode Island and called the paparazzi to milk their image as nice people for being affiliated with Taylor when it all started going south. Yes, Joanna, that is a really good point. When things started going badly right after the premiere in August and people started to call out Taylor Swift, there was this big like family gathering in the Rhode Island. It was one of their birthdays. And they were all down in Rhode Island at this gorgeous, huge abode, this beautiful home. And it was Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper and Bradley's daughter. And it was the Reynolds and their kids and probably their nannies. And it was obviously it was Taylor Swift. I'm imagining it was Travis Kelce, right? I think it was off season. And it was a bunch of them. And they all got together just to kind of like, oh, we're all spending good quality time together, etc. So they're all very close. And just a little time after that, remember, they were all spending time with Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz and the guy that the reporter, the son of Woody Allen, whatever his name is, from the New Yorker. Rowan, someone help me remember his name. The guy that exposed Harvey Weinstein was one of the authors of that whole big Me Too that I just saw at Podcast Movement the other day. And I'm not a huge fan, but that guy, Ronan Farrow, thank you, Ronan Farrow. And they were all spending all this time together. There was all these like get-togethers at different homes, all these different people spending their time together. It was like very much a gang. I was going to say a gangbang, but that just doesn't sound right. But maybe. Listen, wouldn't put it past creepy Ryan Reynolds telling his 7-year-old daughter to talk about, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine's DICK. So like, God knows what. God knows what. I don't know. I have no faith in that side anymore. Now, speaking of, neither does Bryan Freedman. And Bryan Freedman is over it. He is over it. And he spoke to Deadline yesterday. Now, in case you guys are just kind of not really sure about what Deadline is, when I started working in this industry as a casting director and as a casting assistant back in 2003, and then I became a casting director in 2007, and was in the industry strongly until 2018, 17 as an agent. Deadline is the Bible when it comes to the industry. Yes, you have Hollywood Reporter and Variety, and those are more, they call them the trades, right? Which report on updates in the industry. But Deadline is like the go-to. It's where everything is first reported. Castings, production deals, if an agent gets a job somewhere, if an actor gets signed with an agency, or if like a big studio picks something up, or a release deadline is kind of the big thing. So for this all to kind of keep coming out on deadline is very interesting to me. For Stephanie Jones to show her subpoena to Deadline and Daily Mail, it's very intentional. It's intentional and it's interesting. Daily Mail is, I love Daily Mail, but when I think of Daily Mail, I don't look at it as a journalistic masterpiece. I don't look at it as even entertainment trades. I look at it as a gossip rag. That's how I look at Daily Mail. I look at it like Page Six. I look at it like TMZ. When I look at Deadline, I see it a little bit more high caliber, but still it's not like putting it in the courts or on, Pacer or any of those when you think about showing a subpoena. However, this article that has come out now about the subpoena and everything on Daily Mail, and now Bryan Freedman is talking to Deadline, it's all very curious. It's interesting. The Bryan Freedman talking to Deadline makes a little bit more sense. But it's just so interesting to me that none of this is coming out just like in the courts. We're not seeing any of this in the actual courts. Now, I reported on this last night and I posted a little short YouTube and TikTok and Instagram reel about this article, but I found it really good. Bryan Freedman is angry. He's angry and he should be angry about this because this was not done properly. This idea of suing Jane Doe's or John Doe's, all the Doe's and not suing anyone and plus Doe's. And I've watched some different creators report on this. And I know Without a Crystal Ball yesterday reported how the attorneys, I believe her name is Stephanie Katz, the attorney that created this Van Zandt lawsuit for Blake and, did this Van Zandt lawsuit for Blake Lively in September. She's done this before, I think back in 2020 for another organization, another company. The difference is that to sue Jane Doe's or John Doe's is not uncommon. The difference is that this lawsuit was just suing simply Doe's, not, this Stephanie Jones and Jane Doe's. Not a person and Doe's. It's just Doe's, which is like a fishing expedition kind of. And it was done with the intention of this. Now, something else that Leanne, who was an attorney here, and she was on my show on Friday, something else that she pointed out, which is a really, really interesting find, and I'm going to show you guys right now, is exactly what Judge Lyman said no to Blake Lively's attorneys in terms of them wanting to go through that huge fishing expedition. Remember when Blake Lively's attorneys just a couple months ago wanted to get access to like so many years of all of these text messages and all of these fines from 2022? And Judge Lyman was like, whoa, that's just way too much. You don't need to have access to all of those text messages and all of those things. Well, this is really, really telling because I think Judge Lyman is not going to be happy about this. So Leanne says this: the sham subpoena had the same ridiculous and overly broad requests that the subpoena Lively requested, but Judge Lyman quashed all information from December 1st, 2022. Judge Lyman is actually going to be angry about this. This user, Ludwig on X, said, I found something interesting. In the Deadline article, it mentions that the Van Zandt subpoena requested all information from December 1st, 2022 onward. But on February 28th of this year, Judge Lyman, don't you guys remember, partially denied that subpoena, citing that it was too broad in relation to her actual lawsuit. So don't you guys find that interesting? They kind of sideswept the judge by going about it and trying to subpoena and getting these huge amount, this broad 2 years of text messages. That was way too much information by doing it. And then they said, pretending that they had never done that, doing it through the judge legally. And the judge was like, you don't need 2 years of anything. So he was like, that's too much information. But they had done it already. It's shady. It's so shady. Yes, Michael says they were trying to trick him into okaying what they already had. If you guys don't see that this is unethical, it's effed. Now, I'm going to read you a little bit of the Deadline article, but Jenny brings up a really good point here. She says the Deadline article was so slanted in Blake's favor. They spun it to make Bryan Freedman look bad for doubting the subpoena and then shared her team's take that it was a kosher move to obtain the info. I want to tell you guys something about Deadline, and I've said this from day one, and I wish I had a really good producer right now to be like, roll the tapes, because I have so many moments that I could be like, roll the tapes. I've said this. This guy, Dominic Patton, and if you've been here from day one, you know, this guy, Dominic Patton, who has written all of these Deadline articles on this one case, he is the author of all of the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively articles when it comes to Deadline. I don't know his deal. Well, actually, he was interviewed on one of the Hulu, on that first Hulu Impact. Do you guys remember that Hulu Impact documentary that aired like month one of this whole drama? Emily D. Baker was interviewed. MJ, the MJ lawyer, was interviewed. It was on Hulu. Dominic Patton was also interviewed on it. This guy has it out for Justin Baldoni. He does not like Justin Baldoni. I don't know why. He's another one of the Hollywood machine. He likes Ryan Reynolds and he likes Blake Lively. You can't help it. He has a very, very clear bias. So anytime you see Deadline talking about this case, just know that, because it's going to be by this Dominic Patton and it's going to be biased. That's just what you have to know. And that's unfortunate, but this is just the world we're living in. It's like, I mean, I don't want to get into politics, or not politics, but like world news and, you know, stuff I feel like we're dealing with in the world a lot. But that's just the way it is. It's always going to be a little biased when you see it in Deadline about this. David also says, and I don't remember this, but he says the Dominic guy was also pro Amber Heard and would mislead readers during that trial. It's so interesting. It's really, really wild. It seems so unfair, but now we know that the media and the news is not fair. It's just the truth. It's just opinionated. It's all not fair. So, okay, let's go on and read a little bit of what Bryan Freedman said here, and then we'll move on to some other big updates on this case, because she brought in a new attorney, and then some more stories, because I want to get into Karen Reed too. Okay, so Bryan Freedman says, yeah, this article says 5 months after. I was like, what? 5 months? Okay, it says, the article basically says, when she knew about an alleged online smear campaign against her, how did she know it? It says, we now know that Lively gained the info in a targeted shadow suit of sorts, and the information came from Stephanie Jones. Remember, It Starts with Stephanie. That's the new movie. We're going to write it, you guys. We're going to write a movie called It Starts with Stephanie. All right, who is going to help me fundraise it? Kickstart it. Kickstart the movie It Starts with Stephanie. Eventually revealing a treasure trove of what looks like on the surface of incriminating and unpalatable text. I don't need to go into all of this, but it says, instead, the plaintiff is Van Zandt, a company we now know was formed in Delaware with Lively as CEO. The Doe defendants have undertaken direct efforts to contravene these agreements and instead have participated and may continue to participate in efforts to harm plaintiff, including by failing to act in plaintiff's best interests, taking actions to their personal benefit at plaintiff's expense, failing to freely communicate with plaintiff regarding matters that impact plaintiff's businesses and reputation, and disclosing to third parties and failing to keep strictly confidential plaintiff's confidential and or private information, reads the complaint from the Van Zandt lawsuit. It's long since been insisted by Jones and Team Blake that Jones handed over Abel's cell and other devices to Lively's attorneys. While Jones gave Lively's lawyers that device and the material on it upon receiving a subpoena request from Lively's lawyers, the origin of that subpoena has never been known. In fact, Baldoni lead attorney Bryan Freedman has in the past openly doubted the existence of such a subpoena between the It Ends With Us stars. With a clear tone of more to come, Freedman's not doubting that subpoena anymore. He says Miss Lively's and Mr. Reynolds' company Van Zandt had nothing to do with this case, and they knew it. This sham lawsuit was designed to obtain subpoena power without oversight or scrutiny, and in doing so denied my clients the ability to contest the propriety, nature, and scope of the subpoena. Having filed more than his fair share of DOE suits over the years, he says, and taken slings and arrows for his tactics. So he's done this before. That's what is important. Filing DOE suits is not uncommon, but the way that they're doing this is, he says, there is nothing normal about this. Officers of the court have a duty of candor to the court and an obligation not to file fictitious lawsuits that have no basis in fact or law. A party with no connection to these proceedings asserting a breach of contract against another party they claim not to be able to identify does not qualify. This was done in bad faith and constitutes a flagrant abuse of process. That is the key. It was done with bad faith and had nothing to do with the case. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, of course, Lively's attorneys, let me see if I can make this bigger so you guys can see it. Oh my God, get this ad out of here. Her attorneys, Ezra Hudson and Mike Gottlieb, of course, their job is to fight back and say, no, it's totally above board. And it's completely conscientious and thorough investigation. The Lively parties acted upon reliable information and employed common tools such as DOE lawsuits and civil subpoenas. They are entirely lawful and appropriate for pursuing claims and uncovering the identity of unknown perpetrators of unlawful activities. This lawsuit unearthed the Wayfarer party's documented plan, in their own words, in their own text messages, to destroy Blake Lively, a plan that they executed without transparency, disclosure, or notice to Miss Lively or the public, instead of acting in a way that they thought would be untraceable. We have nothing to hide, et cetera, et cetera. And then yesterday, if you guys watched yesterday's show, they talk about this deleted Facebook post where Jen Abel, which I showed you guys yesterday, where she said, I have no idea how they got my text messages. I was not subpoenaed. I have no idea where it came from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we're going to see more. I can't get over this outfit. I find it not pretty. I think that we're going to see more. I think that it says that wrapped in the First Amendment. Oh, this is, it looks like the New York Times will soon be allowed out of the case. That's what this says. But I do believe that we will see an amendment to the case soon. Hopefully, Bryan Freedman doesn't look like he's going to be very happy. And hopefully he comes back a swinging, as we know him to do. Now, Blake Lively has lawyered up. She has changed her lawyers or added to her bevy of lawyers in the process of this. You know, Ezra Hudson was not her lawyer the entire time. She had this original Manat team, but she added Ezra Hudson, who is better than her first team. And then just today, she added another attorney to her team. Her new attorney is this guy, Michael Lambert. Now, we don't know anything about him yet, but apparently he's a good guy. I mean, seems like a good attorney. His name, this is his information. I don't want to really give you all his information, but it's public. His name is Michael Lambert, and he is an associate in Austin. He focuses on media, entertainment, intellectual property, and First Amendment litigation. He is recognized by best lawyers as ones to watch. So she is a new attorney, and he speaks publicly about First Amendment and internet law, anti-slap issues, and he's big in entertainment law, etc. And we'll have to see what he can do to add to this case for Blake Lively. Sure, believe that she needs all the help that she can get. She is definitely not in the best standing right now. This is going to be specifically for Jed Wallace's lawsuit because it's in a Texas court. So let's see what happens for Blake Lively. Now, bang, bang, Paul Feig, guess what? Guess what, guys? Paul Feig is winning. You know how this is the most upsetting thing about this freaking industry? This is what pisses me off more than anything in the entire industry. You guys want to know what? Is that when you feel like you can't stand people and you feel like, oh, the people that really aren't like good guys in the world or whatever, they win. They keep getting good things. Why? I don't know. I don't know why this happens. But Paul Feig has just freaking gotten a new huge deal with Warner Brothers Television Group. Explain. This just popped up into my feed today. I'm so frustrated. And also, another thing I'm really frustrated about, Patricia Casey just brought up, only 201 likes here on YouTube. I'm not going to explain the story until I get another 50 likes. I'm just going to sit here. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na, da-na. Just kidding. Can you imagine? Guys, I'm just going to give you the bang bang Paul Feig until. All right, so I will make sure to just wait until you guys continue to like. No. Look at his face. I'm sorry. It's not about his looks. It's just his face bugs me. All of these people's faces bug me now because of the way that he protected Blake and Ryan. Okay, I got 261 likes. You guys really, you worked it. You protected me. Have you subscribed? The goal is also to subscribe to the show too. All right, now let's get into the story. I appreciate you all. Paul Feig. Yes, Paul Feig has signed a first look deal. Why? He will develop and create original programming in all genres. Live action, scripted, unscripted animation. It says while he has branched into features, most recently directing and producing Another Simple Favor for Amazon. Remember that one, guys? How could we forget? Yes, he's going to be working on all of these projects, and Blake Lively is so happy because I think he's the only one that will ever hire her at this point. And of course, he also recently directed and produced The Housemaid, starring Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, and Brandon Sklenar. That's going to be coming out on Christmas Day, 2025. Feig is rep by CAA, and Sloan, Offer, Weber, and Dern. Is that the same Sloan? Is that? I have not looked that up. Is that his attorney, Sloan? We got to do some research here. Is that who? That's a law firm. Who is the Sloan? Who is the Sloan? Is it related to Leslie? Guys, we need to do some work here. Jason Sloan. Who is Jason Sloan? Jason Sloan. I don't think he's related to Leslie Sloan. I don't think he's related. I just found him on Instagram, though. You guys, we become detectives. We are all literal detectives. Jason Sloan is not related to Leslie Sloan because I just found unless they're sisters and brothers, I just found his wife in 2 seconds. His wife is an actress, a big actress, actually, and a director. So I don't believe that they are related. But it's very possible that the Sloans are all related in some capacity. And it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Leslie Sloan and then Paul Feig's entertainment attorney, Jason Sloan, have some sort of connection. All the Sloans. This is like Orange Justice. Do you guys remember your kids used to do Orange Justice, the dance? Okay. we got to talk about Karen Reed, who is obsessed with, oh, he's married to Miss Honey. The wife's name is Embeth. Okay, fine. I'll just give you guys Embeth Davids. Yeah, she's Miss Honey from Matilda. You guys all know. Okay, we got to move on. We're really in the weeds here. I could do this all day. This is my ADHD. I get really deep in the hole. I go. I'm like a little hamster, like shoveling for, I go really in. So let's talk about, we got to talk about Karen Reed. You guys have to see clips of these opening statements. I got clips. If you want to see some of the best lawyering ever, and I really, really hope that we get to see Bryan Freedman. I don't know if Bryan Freedman's amazing at opening statements. I don't know if Bryan Freedman can nail it the way Alan Jackson has, because I think I have a little bit of a crush. Craig who, if you know what I mean. Craig Conover who? Alan Jackson. I don't even need an attorney, and I've just hired Alan Jackson to represent me. Wow. But before I do that, I want to make sure to tell you guys a little bit about this product that I've been using, and I'm obsessed. And a lot of you guys are telling me all about why you guys are asking me about my skincare. Okay. I started using this new product. I want to show it to you guys really fast. I've been really, really searching for new skincare, and I've been starting to use this product, and they sent me a second one. I've been using it for the last month, but I want to open the second one that I just got here, and it's called goPure, because I've been searching for a long time for the perfect skincare for my face, but I've been neglecting the skin on my neck. This is a Tighten and Lift neck cream. I want to make sure that you guys can see it. It's from goPure, okay? It's a Tighten and Lift neck cream. I'm going to show you guys all about Alan Jackson, my boyfriend, in just a second. First, I want to show you guys all about my neck cream, okay? Really fast. I wish it doesn't really have a scent. It's very, very clean scented, which is very important for me, okay? Listen, it's not just about transforming the skin on your neck. They have a full line of science-backed skin and body care to brighten, hydrate, and restore your glow from head to toe. From powerful vitamin C serums to deeply hydrating retinol moisturizer, every product is packed with clean, effective ingredients to deliver real results. Tighten, lift, and restore elasticity in your neck, because your skincare routine shouldn't stop at your jawline. This is such a big, big issue for me, you guys. I have major insecurity about my neck. And for a limited time, Daily Dose of Donna listeners get 25% off goPure with the code DAILYDOSE at checkout. So just head to gopurebeauty.com, okay? GOPURE beauty.com. Use code DAILYDOSE and you're all set. And after you buy, do a favor when they ask where you heard about goPure, tell them it was from our show. It's dermatologist recommended, cruelty-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free. They've sold over 1 million jars. And it's got a proprietary firming complex designed to visibly firm and smooth the skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. You guys, I really enjoy the smell, and I use it on the back of my hands too. Not gonna lie, because the skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than facial skin, which means it requires specialized care. I'm just gonna do this all day for Alan Jackson. It's just me and Alan Jackson, okay? Just me and Alan. I'm sorry. This is just for Alan and I. Okay. gopurebeauty.com/dailydose. Thanks, goPure. And it's a nice little glass bottle. This is what the influencers do. Okay, let's move on. Opening statements for today. And when I went to work out this morning, I had my AirPods in, and I was like, guys, I'm not listening to the music. I'm listening to Alan Jackson. Well, I'll tell you, the opening statement started with Hank Brennan. I'm going to do a little refresher episode this weekend, or maybe before the end of the week, where I'll give you like a little short 30 minutes of what you need to know about Karen Reed before the retrial. I know that the retrial already started, but for those of you that don't really know what I'm talking about, but want to get into it, And I'm going to give you just like a little quick refresher. A lot of people are like, I kind of want to know, but I don't really want to know. I just got into it. So like, I'm like you guys, but maybe a week ahead. It's so interesting. And I was watching it today and I was thinking to myself, I want everyone to be as obsessed with me so that you guys can follow along with me. Hank Brennan is the new prosecutor. He's come in, he represents the Commonwealth, which is basically like the state, going against Karen Reed. I'll tell you something from a casting director's perspective, or just say I'm a juror, right? And I don't know anything about the case at all. I already don't like him. His tone, his delivery, his energy, his voice, I find him to be irritating. His mic wasn't great. When you watch him speak, he seems a little flubbery, blumbering, whatever the words are. He seems a little bit like all over the place. He didn't seem like he was on top of his shit. When you have an opening statement by an attorney, you want to feel like they're confident. You want to feel like they're on top of it. So I'm going to show you a little piece of his opening statement from Court TV, just to see kind of a visual of what the prosecutor looks like. I am a big defense person. I personally want Karen Reed to be free. So I am very much on the defense side. Sorry if you're not. Please still enjoy Daily Dose of Donna. But this is just my personal take. This is from Court TV's TikTok, where they post little clips. And they have tons of clips from all the different cases. This is just a piece of the prosecutor's opening statement.
He looked up at Miss Reed and he said, "What happened?" And you'll hear her.
Oh gosh, sorry, hold on.
He looked up at Miss Reed and he said, "What happened?" And you'll hear her words to firefighter Nuttall. She said, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." And it was at that time, with the words of the defendant, that she admitted what she had done that night, that she hit John O'Keefe. So why are we here today? We are here today because John O'Keefe was killed by the actions and conduct of that defendant, Karen Reed. The Lexus tire spun backwards. She went backwards at least 70 feet. She clipped John O'Keefe. He fell backwards, hit his head, broke his skull. And there he lay at the corner of Fairview Road, on the ground, lying on top of his cell phone, alone. And then the defendant will later tell that when she left, he didn't look mortally wounded, yet he was. And she simply drove away.
Okay. A lot of people are asking, can you give a summary of the case? I don't know anything about it. Yes, I'm going to I've decided, I just don't know about time-wise how I'm going to fit it in this week, but I'm going to do before the end of this week or before the beginning of next week, I'm going to do a special episode where I'm going to give you guys a little summary, but from Daily Dose. You can find them online, but I want to give you guys my own version of a summary just for the dosers. Just so you guys know, this is the prosecutor. I'm not a fan of this man, but I want you guys to watch it. Just imagine you're a juror. You don't know anything about this case. I want you to imagine seeing this guy and just seeing his delivery. Okay, this is the importance of finding an attorney who you really, really feel can nail the delivery, can nail these statements. This is the opening statement. This is the moment where you make these first impressions from these attorneys. This is before the witnesses start coming on the stand. This is when they give you an hour-long description of basically what happened. They argue the case, their case. Did you hear how many times he messed up? Did you hear how he was kind of like all over the place? He was whatever. Now I want you guys to watch my man, Alan Jackson. And this is how he opens his statement.
There was no collision with John O'Keefe. There was no collision. There was no collision. John O'Keefe did not die from being hit by a vehicle, period. The facts will show that. The evidence will show that. The evidence will establish that John did not suffer a single injury on his body consistent with having been hit by a car. Not one. You'll learn that John's torso, his ribs, his chest, his arms, his hips, his legs, his knees, his ankles, his feet, all of them, no broken bones, no fractures, no contusions, no torn ligaments, no internal injuries, not even a bruise. There was no collision. You'll take one look at these injuries and you'll agree with Dr. La Posada. The evidence will show that these injuries are from an animal, like a large dog. John O'Keefe was injured someplace warmer and he was moved. That alone is reasonable doubt.
It goes on and on and on. And I could sit here and just show you a 1 hour of his opening statement and it will be like this. You'll watch it like it's cinema. Alan Jackson deserves all of the awards for his opening statement this morning. In fact, I would also, if you don't know anything about the case, I would say Google or YouTube Alan Jackson's closing statement from the first trial, and then YouTube his opening statement from today. Because those 2 hours are phenomenal lawyering and phenomenal. Like, you know how they say that court or real life trials are nothing like TV, the way that they show them in movies and TV? I would say that Alan Jackson feels like a scripted TV show, like when you're watching the movie, the show Presumed Innocent or whatever. It's phenomenal. Now, you can watch these trials different ways, right, online. A lot of people are asking how to watch it. I would highly suggest, just to keep Daily Dose alive and kicking, if you want to watch the live trial all day long, it's going to be streaming every day, like on Law and Crime. You can watch it with no one talking over the trial, but then there's a majority of these attorneys that are live streaming it. They cut in and then they give their little thoughts, like Emily D. Baker type people and Melanie Little. Like, I know all these attorneys, they give their thoughts during people's testimonies, etc. Or you can, jump into different people, like the lawyer, I know he goes on every night and just gives like an update. I will give the big updates every day because I'm very much invested. Today this morning they had a witness. The first witness was brought onto the stage, brought up to the podium to talk about, he was the witness from the prosecution and I have to get his name. I just wanted to show you the opening statements, but I'll have tomorrow all the information. But he was the prosecutor's first witness and he was the first responder. He's a 28-year-old guy, nervous beyond belief. And he was the first responder when he came there and he discovered John's body. He was called when 911 was called and he was there. And he was one of the many, many people that did a botched investigation of this entire thing. Like, he saw his body. He didn't they were the people that got all the evidence and put them in solo cups. Like, they didn't know what they were doing. All of these people were just a mess. And this witness just was a mess. He was nervous. He didn't really know what he was talking about. I mean, it's a mess of an investigation. It's an unreal trial. It's scary beyond belief because it could happen to anyone. That's why I believe that Karen Read needs to be acquitted. She needs to be freed after this. So we will be continuing to talk about it every day, and stick around here because obviously you don't want to spend your entire day watching a trial, right? Or you can, and then just come back here and then go back there. Okay. Meanwhile, have you subscribed? Another reminder. I always have to remind you guys to subscribe because I've heard this about YouTube. If you don't remind people to subscribe, they don't. It's like my kids and washing their hair or brushing their teeth. You have to tell them. They forget. So make sure to subscribe as we go on to our next story. Why was Paige DeSorbo at New York Stock Exchange ringing a bell for People magazine? Can we talk about that for a second today, guys? Why? I was so confused by this morning. Seriously, so confused. Jillian, what a sweet, sweet super sticker for our daily dose of serotonin. Thank you. That is so kind, Jillian. I appreciate that. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the fact that Paige DeSorbo was ringing the New York Stock Exchange for an app that she has nothing to do with? Is this is this like a PR move? Does this feel like her? It feels like Blake Lively in Time Magazine for some reason, doesn't it? I don't know why, but I was getting a little bit of a vibe. Like, did her agent like call in some favors here? I was a little bit confused by this. Let's watch her stories really fast because I know she talked about it in her stories. Now, look, I mean, it's pretty cool to do if you're Bethany Frankel and you created a product and then you get to go like ring the bell for your own product. But what did she have anything to do with it? Let's watch this. Very good. Why? She says, as a president, I vow to put soda in all the water fountains. Okay, that's kind of funny, I guess. And then it's her cat. She says, it has come to my attention that the maintenance staff has switched from Charmin to generic. And then that's just her. Bringing buttons back to America. Okay. Okay. What? Like, I don't really fully get it, guys. Do we get it? Okay. Cool. Well, good for her. I guess they need some press. Maybe because she was on a cover of a People magazine. Is that why? Interesting. Oh, look, Pretty Sunset says, fun fact, I know Paige and her whole family used to work for her uncle. Tell us something good, Pretty Sunsets. Tell us she's amazing. Give us something good. Secondly, another person that I never want to see on my TV again, not that I don't want to see Paige. I actually am not against this. But another person I don't want to see ever again. Oh, actually, you know what? Before I go to this story, I saw something really interesting before I went to bed last night about Summer House. Do you guys Summer House fans? Are we Summer House fans here? I am. And tonight's Summer House is on, right? Or is it tomorrow night? Tomorrow night. I saw this Bravo YouTube behind the scenes content of Summer House when they were setting up this party of the snooze party. They're doing the snooze party. And I found this so fascinating. I'm like, we need to see more of this content. Let me see if I can find it in my history. You know how you can find your history. Hold on. Oh my God, my history is wild on my YouTube history. My YouTube history is about guinea pigs and trials. Let's watch this. Pretty Sunset says, her mom is the sweetest, most loving lady. She used to drive her 2.5 hours to the city when she was little to do modeling, and she totally believed in her. I'm not surprised by that at all. You know, Paige was a child model. She was on the cover of a ton of children's not children's books, like teen books. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Paige wanted to be like a child actress. That tracks. Look at this video that I found last night before I went to bed. Tell me if you're interested in this kind of content.
What are we doing? Okay, this is pre-snooze fest. We're going to take you through the walkthrough of what we envisioned in our heads when we wanted to throw this party. We are missing Paige, but she's getting her out.
By we, she means she.
I love this moon. You see it here? She's stunning.
She was supposed to be 6 feet tall, but I'd give her a solid
7.5.
8.
Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah.
You know, bigger is always
Better.
So I wanted to, typically we have the DJ section over in this area, but I wanted to kind of shift the view and have it in this area. We'll put lights all around it. The DJ will be set up over here. Next thing, we're having a bartender come.
And not just a bartender, it's a cutesy little
Tuk-tuk.
Are we interested in this kind of
a
stuff?
barmobile.
Over in this corner right here. So they've made us some specialty cocktails tonight. We've got like a blueberry bourbon drink. We've got espresso martinis. We've got beer on tap. Also a wine, Hampton Sauvignon Blanc on tap as well.
Bougie.
We are also doing ice sculptures. We also have a giant trampoline that we're going to put right here that we will be transforming into a bed.
We're going to be building some floating beds in the pool.
Yes.
We have large dream catchers We have
made
oversized.
by us.
Yeah, no one's
And
really interested in this, right?
Oversized
I was
bows.
wondering to
also
myself,
handmade by
why?
us.
Look, they did this whole production on Bravo and they only have 13,000 views. Isn't that weird? No one's interested in this content. I found it so wild that they're doing this. I find these people so boring to watch. So boring. Sorry, guys. I won't put you through that anymore. Now, here's someone else that I never, ever want to see on my screen again. And I will tell you, if she comes back to Real Housewives of New York, I don't know if I can watch it. And that's Bryn Whitfield. We have a serious issue. Bryn Whitfield trashes Real Housewives of New York, which makes me think, I think she's not coming back to Roni. She trashes Real Housewives of New York and she throws them under the bus by saying, I am the only one that works. Bryn, of all people, trashes Roni by saying, I am the only one that works. Is she not the worst out there? I think she's the worst out there. She says that she's a marketing consultant for major corporations. Excuse me, what? She says we have influencers, we have models, we have art curators. But she says she's the only one with a full-time job. She better not come back to the show. She's the scariest person, I think, that I've ever seen on Bravo. I find her to be actually dangerously scary. Do you guys remember the last episode of Roni last year? The last episode of the season when she created that whole lie about the abortion or about what was it? The abortion? It was about the abortion, right? And she completely lied and then she threw Uba under the bus. Like, it was scary. It was actually the darkest episode I've ever seen. I truly believe that if Bravo brings her back, well, number one, if Bravo brings her back, they're setting themselves up for another. Oh, it was SA. It wasn't an abortion. Thank you so much, Beth. That's what it was. It was SA. It was about her being raped. Thank you. And she said that she had told Uba. And Uba's like, I promise you, I swear you never told me. And she was like, no, I definitely told you. And Uba freaked out. It was so dark. It was so horrible. If Bravo brings Bryn back, hand to God, they are setting themselves up for another lawsuit, another Leah McSweeney. Worst idea ever to bring Bryn back. Worst idea. Don't you guys think? I just think it's awful. Michael says, I haven't seen you for a while, Donna. Very busy. Nice to see you. Well, I've been here waiting, Michael. Where have you been? Literally, I haven't said a word since you've been here. I've just been waiting. Geez, Michael. I find Bryn scary. Now, the final story is Justin Bieber. This is a weird story, and I don't even know how much we can take it seriously, but I talk about him a little bit here and there because he's acting really funky. He was acting so strange. We talked about him yesterday looking like he was in some sort of a drug-induced slump, weird dance thing at Coachella yesterday. Odd, strange, weird, and uncomfortable to watch, and he doesn't look healthy, you guys. I think we all can pick up what we're putting down, if you know what I mean. And it's just not feeling good and it's not feeling healthy. And now Justin Bieber's longtime friend believes that he's in a cult. Okay? It's not good. Ryan Good, his really close friend, who is the owner of this company, Drew House, backs off. His closest associates is taking a break from the singer, and it's because of Justin Bieber's pastor. This is the shit that I actually believe. I guess he has a pastor named Judah Smith. And Ryan Good tells TMZ, Ryan Good is Justin's former road manager, and the creative director at Justin Bieber's fashion brand, Drew House, has not spoken to Justin in over a year. And they haven't spoken because Ryan left this church called Church Home. It's like church and home as one word in Beverly Hills. It's the church Justin Bieber still belongs to and where Judah serves as a pastor. So we have to get into this. We have to start doing some deep diving into Judah Smith. Judah Smith Church Home. I don't know anything about this, but this is the moment that we have to start doing the deep diving. Has anyone, oh my God, you guys are all so sweet in your comments saying that you haven't seen me in a while and now you have. Okay, so this is Judah Smith. He's on Instagram. He has 726,000 followers. Should we watch something? Let's watch this first clip. Okay, so this is just a picture. He says, "You're doing better than you think you are. Happy Easter." I want to see a video. Oh, here we go.
About to do the 11 a.m. for Easter 2025 and wanted to give you a quick flyover, an overview of this 2025 Easter message, which is the same passage and message every year, except that this year I saw something I'd never seen before. 8 days later. Go check out on the Bible app, John 20 and verse 26, I believe it is. It says 8 days later. That's 8 days after.
Okay.
Maybe you're like me, and the moment somebody like me, a preacher, says God has a plan, you start to think, oh, really? So when my dad died, was that his plan? So when this pain happened in my life, is that his plan? The scripture makes it very clear that God enacts and allows the free will of you and I. Though he is sovereign and though he is in control, he allows free will to the extent that free will has colluded and caused extraordinary pain, wars and rumors of wars and pestilence and disease, and these things proliferate on the planet as we speak. And yet, there is a Father, there is a God, and he has a plan for your life, even in the middle.
Okay, look, obviously, content he's putting out just feels like typical, pastor religious content. It doesn't feel like anything intense or scary or weird or strange. It just seems like a typical religious, this is him and his wife. But, we usually don't tend to see when someone has kind of like creepy cultish behavior. Usually they're not posting their own creepy cultish behavior. So we have to do some research and see what other people are saying about it. Obviously, Ryan Good is saying that Church Home he felt was a cult and he felt he wanted out. So he left the church, and Justin got really close to Judah, that man that we just talked about. And it was a big factor in the separation. We were told Justin added Judah to the Drew House board a few years ago. Okay, so Ryan Good, who was very close to Justin, is the head of Drew House. And then Justin Bieber wanted to add Judah, that pastor, to the Drew House board a few years ago, despite the fact that Judah and Ryan, who's the brand's creative director, don't get along. Our sources describe, this is TMZ saying, our sources describe Justin bringing Judah onto the board of his clothing line as weird, basically because Judah is more pastor than businessman. Justin and Judah have hung out quite a bit through the years, though, with Bieber even bringing Judah with him to Las Vegas last year for Super Bowl. Ryan and Justin aren't talking, but we're told Ryan is worried about Justin. As we've told you, fans are worried about Justin due to videos of him partying at Coachella, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, well, I will say one thing. If Justin is with this pastor, his pastor should be doing a better job. That's kind of how I feel, because Justin doesn't seem to be very stable right now. And that doesn't feel like that far of a reach, right? Doesn't feel very good. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being here on the special Tuesday episode of Daily Dose of Donna. I appreciate so many of you in the comments who are saying that you haven't been here in a while and you came back. I missed seeing you. Where have you been every day? I'll be here every single day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And I will I'll see you guys soon. Tomorrow, we'll be covering all the stories and more. Thank you so much for being here. Love you. Bye.